Greetings once again from the brother from Harlem. It's 1968 now, 125th Street, the world. The Vietnam War is going strong. Civil rights movement is out there. We're just beginning, us Northerners are just beginning to understand what that whole movement was about. Martin Luther King has already had the March on Washington, but we're still not understanding totally, at least I didn't, and I know a lot of my peers didn't either, what that whole civil rights movement was totally about. But I'm going to clarify what we went through. We weren't sure what was really happening in the South except what we saw on television or we read in the newspaper. The brothers were going off to Vietnam, being killed left and right. We don't understand that war either. A lot of my friends came back from Vietnam in body bags. A lot of mothers cried, a lot of tears. You had a lot of us going to fight. You had a lot of draft dodgers who didn't want to fight. But that was that. We had a tailor shop. Things on 125th Street going along as normal. Things in Harlem going along as normal. Everything is fine. Then all of a sudden there comes a flash on the radio. Martin Luther King had just been assassinated. April 4th, 1968. Now, what is this going to mean to America? Let alone the world, but to America. Here's a man who's out there promoting peace, nonviolence. Let's get along. Let's see each other as equal. That's what he's preaching. And they assassinate him. Shot him dead. Shot him dead. 1968, April 4th. Well, now we're starting to get reports on 125th Street about some looting and rioting going on in other areas. Now, California is 3 hours behind us. So all of a sudden we're hearing all this disturbance out in Watts because it's a little later for us, it's earlier for them. So we're starting to get these reports about things happening out there, things happening over here. But there was still a calm in Harlem at that particular time. Now I said to myself, now I didn't live through one riot. That's when the blackout was. And I'm hoping and I'm praying that we don't have another one here. Because that other one was there, but who knows? But that was a different, that was a taking an advantage riot, I'm gonna call it, because all of New York went blacked out then. Now this is a different thing. Now this is a civil rights thing. Now, it's a little unrest, you can see it. Hadn't gotten dark yet, but the same thing. I'm thinking to myself, I sure hope this doesn't escalate to like that other one was. Now, the difference between our new store and our old store, we had what we call a riot gate. That's that big metal gate that comes down and blocks your store. Whereas before, we had that little accordion gate that a child could rip off, to be very honest with you. So we feel well protected this time. But you just never know, because I got news for you. They could still come in if they want to. Now, when we leave at night, we put the lock on the inside, but we can lock it on the outside, but we can lock it on the inside too. So it started getting late, and all of a sudden the street started to swell up with people, and the brothers are starting to holler. I mean, you had the Black Panther movement, you got the Muslim brothers out there. Everybody's starting to mill, and the streets are getting thicker and thicker and thicker with people. So I called my wife and I told her, look, I'm going to stay here with Ori like I did before. Because I got to protect what's his, because what's his is mine. Because it's my livelihood. So I told her, I said, we'll be all right because we got that big riot gate, so we're not worried like we were before. You can't break the window, and unless you lift that gate up, you can't get in. So we're there, and All we're doing is listening to the radio, what's happening out there, because we're not going to open that gate to see. Because we can't see out the gate like we could the other place. I'm here to tell you, as the night wore on, now all of a sudden we could hear glass breaking, we could hear sirens, both police sirens, and we could hear fire department siren. And now we're listening to the radio, and they're talking about the riot on 125th Street. And they rioted in a couple other areas lightly. A little riot broke out in Brooklyn, but not like 125th Street. Burning and looting. That's what we're hearing on the radio. They're burning up Harlem. They're burning up 125th Street. Now this is outside of the gate now from us, because we got a big gate come down. We're closed in, but we're all right. But there's still fire going on all around us. All night long, all we could hear was fire. Now all of a sudden, as it got later and later, we have big police presence. The National Guard was up there, so I heard. We're hearing all of this, and now all of a sudden we're not hearing as much of the riot that we had heard earlier. For hours we heard fire bombs going off and glass breaking. Now, one of the reasons why I say that is the riot gate covered the front, but we had a vestibule because we had big showcase windows. So we're standing in that little corridor, and the gate doesn't totally block you in, it just keeps people out. So we could hear the noise, but we couldn't see anything because we got that gate down there. And this went on for many, many hours. We're hearing them, and we're hearing the glass and the riot and the fire bombs going off everywhere. The radio was talking about they burning up Harlem and this, that, and the other. Well, they didn't burn up all of Harlem, but they sure devastated 125th Street. So as the night went on and it calmed down, we could hear the soldiers and the police. We could hear them walking in front of us, but we weren't about to open that gate just yet. We waited until daylight came up. When daylight came up, I told Lori, I'm about to leave now. I'm going to go home and check on my family. Now, I didn't drive this go-round. I took the subway. So I had to walk over to the subway about 3 blocks over to get the subway to go home. And I want to tell you people this. Hurt me to my heart to see what they did to 125th Street after Martin Luther King's assassination. Because as I walked across 125th Street to the subway station, merchants that I knew, their stores were burnt up. They were looted up. Glass was everywhere. Debris was everywhere. It looked like World War III on 125th Street. There wasn't but a handful of places that were not harmed. Believe it or not, they didn't really harm the Apollo Theater, but you're going to steal out of a theater. They didn't mess with us because we had that riot gate. Roomstein's department store, the windows were broken out and stuff was looted, but they didn't burn it down. Several of the stores got hit real bad. A.J. Lester's got hit real bad, and this one got hit real bad. Now, they didn't burn everything down, but they looted. So there was glass and debris everywhere. And as I walked across 125th Street, I said to myself, when are we going to stop destroying our neighborhoods, where we live, where we work, in the name of what? What does that prove? How does it prove anything? Yes, they assassinated Martin Luther King, who was a symbol of peace. But what you guys did was not peace at all. What you did was you put a lot of people out of work. You had merchants that were not going to reopen because they had been through this before. But what always got me was people didn't realize, on top of all those stores across 125th Street, people lived upstairs. You burnt them out. Now they're displaced. They got to find a new home. It was a terrible scene. It was a terrible scene to see, to witness with my own eyes the destruction of a historical block, 125th Street, and what it meant to the black community living in Harlem. So I'm going to leave you guys with that and get you to wonder for yourself how I must have felt walking across that, thinking I was in Europe or somewhere where they had bombed and looted and burnt up the place. That's what it looked like. And deep down in my soul, I cried. How can we continue to do things like this and harm ourselves? So, once again, the brother from Harlem with the high school education, coming to you with a historical fact that happened on 125th Street that I witnessed with my own eyes. Many blessings to you guys. Talk with you soon.